Okay, so I can't figure out how to get the audio to stop cutting out when I talk to Gemini so that you can hear both sides of that conversation. So I'm going to do it a little bit differently. Sorry about that. There were some people that ended up walking by and I didn't want their privacy to be, interrupted. So anyway, you might hear me cut out here and there, but that's because I'm giving Gemini instructions to give me the next cue. So let's see what we got.
Hello everyone, we are back. We know that when you're in the middle of a storm, it's hard to see anything but the rain. But we are here today to help you shift your perspective and realize that you aren't being overcome. You are being prepared for something much greater. The stage is set. Let's start the handshake. You've steadied them with the handshake. Now, let's pivot into the heart of the storm. Anchor 2, the rising tide. For visual, imagine you are a glass vessel. Instead of the water rising over your head to drown you, see the glass walls of your container stretching and rising. You aren't sinking, you are becoming a reservoir that can hold more than you ever imagined. The goal, change the perspective from I'm drowning to I am expanding my capacity. Whenever you finish showing them how they are growing, give me the signal for the forge.
So Gemini is really good at a lot of things, and also spoilers are something Gemini is really good at, and that's fine, but no, that's actually pretty good. What really brought me to trying to film right now is I've been thinking about my life. I've been thinking about people's lives that I know, and it just seems like recently everyone is drowning in their own circumstances. Or in the case of one of my friends, they put it as they feel like there's fire consuming them all the time. And I want to bring a new perspective shift to that. And Jim and I kind of led in with the spoiler a little bit. But when it's raining in your life and you feel like you're drowning under the water, it is so counterintuitive what I'm about to say, but just listen, okay? Try it. Just try it once and see where it gets you, okay? Don't see yourself as drowning. See yourself as expanding, because it's like a water balloon, right? That water balloon is going to feel some pressure on its sidewalls when it decides to expand as you're forcing water into it, right? So sometimes life gives us these situations where we can't deal with those situations in our current state. So it calls us to expand. And if we decide not to expand, well, certain times in my life, at least, I've shattered and had to pick up my broken pieces. And then once I realized that it's just about the expansion, it's just about, knowing that you are big enough to hold all of these things coming at you. And that if you're not currently big enough, your walls are expanding, right? And as you go, you'll stop feeling it as like a pressure, or you'll stop feeling it like you're drowning. Pray for more rain. Pray to grow more, right? Pray that, whatever you pray to, I don't care, but pray that, the spigot doesn't turn off and that you can actually expand to your full size. Because otherwise you're just cheating yourself,
You've shown them the expansion. Now it's time to talk about the heat. Anchor 3, the blacksmith's forge. The visual, see a heavy, dull piece of iron being thrust into the center of a white-hot forge. The fire isn't there to destroy the metal. It's there to make it glow and soften so it can be beaten into a masterpiece on the anvil. The goal, explain that the heat they feel is actually purifying them. It's softening the old, rigid parts of their ego so they can be reshaped into something stronger. When you finish describing the fire, let me know, and we'll move to the horizon.
Yeah, so Gemini's really good at spoilers, but I love it. I actually usually spend at least an hour having a conversation brainstorming with Gemini before I get on camera. This time is actually pretty short because I already knew like the gist of what I wanted to say. but these anchors help me say it without sounding like a robot reading a script and without babbling on too much, right? So to my friend that thinks that he's being burnt alive, and this is just a part of the same journey, right? So back in the day when they were making, swords for a living still, instead of just to look pretty, one of the biggest things, or even any kind of metal work really, one of the biggest things is with metal is that, one, you have to burn out impurities, okay? So when you feel that heat in your life, sometimes instead of clinging to things that you know are bad for you, or clinging to people or situations that you know are bad for you, just surrender to the flame. Let situations, people, let the things that do not serve you anymore burn away out of your life. And I know that's like the hardest thing to do. And I'm currently, if you've watched from video 1, I don't know, but I'm currently in the process of allowing the flame to take my life and just fully surrendering into, okay, well, source, turn up the heat, burn me pure, soften me, that heat softens the metal, right? That's why we have to quench it later, because, we add that carbon back into it, we add things into it from the quench, right? Because when we're originally heating this metal up, it's getting soft. But that's where we need to be, because there's no real quenching for a human being. If it's that softening, that purification, that ability to take the things going on that feel like you're being burnt alive and mold them while they're hot. Because yes, you can bang the heck out of some iron. And yes, with enough force applied, you can shape it. Now put that into heat. Put that into some heat. Make it glow red. Make it glow red. And then all of a sudden, you're going to find out. You're going to find out. Banging that metal is a lot easier. So this is just Source's way of telling you, hey, you're going into the forge really quick because I want you to come out softer. I want you to come out more loving. I want you to go learn some lessons really quick so that you can truly open up to your full potential. It's not about running from the life that you're living. This is your story. This is literally, yeah, I get it. A lot of us want to tell ourselves that we're living in some other fantasy story, or that, that our futures are going to be fantasy. But what's real is right here. And the pressure from the forge is what's going to bring you to those places that you think you want to be. And sometimes you'll find out that's not where you want to be. And Source will go, well, dang, we did all that work for nothing. Where do you want to go next? And you'll say, okay, well, instead of being a rocket scientist, maybe now I just want to be a homemaker, or I want to be this or that or whatever. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. And then, whoop, if you don't have the skills, Source will throw you right back into the fire to gain them, right? We're infinitely able to be reforged. It doesn't matter how young you are. It doesn't matter how old you are. That forge stands ready for you. All you have to do is accept it, because you're going in either way. And either you can come out hardened, you can come out, jaded, you can come out hating things, or you can surrender and come out loving life more than you've ever loved it before.
The storm has passed and the metal has been forged. Now let's show them the result. Anchor 4, the new horizon. The visual. Imagine the clouds breaking and a massive, wide-open landscape appearing. Look at yourself in this scene. You aren't the exhausted person who started this. You are towering and unbreakable. You realize you're standing in a space you never could have reached without the rain and the fire. The goal? Provide the why. Help them see that the struggle wasn't a detour. It was the transformation required to occupy a much bigger life. When you're ready to pass the light to them, give me the signal for the torch.
All right. So basically, Jim and I just said it all for me, which is one of the reasons why I kind of had a conflict in my head about using Gemini, but that's all right. So now is where we find ourselves. Some of you may find yourselves. I don't know. I don't know who's watching this. Hopefully one day my kids will. But right now, this part of it is where you're finding yourself coming out of that fire into this new situation, right? And you start to see things differently because of the surrender that you gave to the process. And as you're coming out into this new thing, you start seeing these synchronicities or these signs that show you that everything, every struggle that you were through, all of the fire, all of the water, all of everything that came at you that felt like it was against you, now all of a sudden feels like it was for you, right? It feels like a gift. It doesn't feel like, something's taking away from you. Quit getting angry at God, quit getting angry at Source, whatever it is you pray to, and realize that the power was within you the whole time. These are just lessons, gift wrapped even. And these lessons are gift wrapped in such a way that only you can open them, right? Someone else in your same shoes would crumble. Someone else in your same shoes might not be able to even deal with half of what you deal with. So, even if you're in the forge, even if you feel like you're drowning, remember, there will come a time when it all makes sense to you. Even if you don't see clearly right now, there will come a time where everything makes sense. All right.
This is the final handoff. You've given them the perspective, now give them the power. Anchor 5, the torch, sign off. The visual. Imagine you are holding a burning torch that was lit by the very fire you just described. Reach out and pass that flame to the viewer, lighting up their own dark situation so they can see their own growth. The goal, leave them empowered. Instead of asking for the struggle to end, they should leave feeling ready to ask for more, because they know they can handle it. The camera is on you. Close it out strong with the torch.
Okay. Sorry about that. Well, you heard her. I know she doesn't have a gender, but I've got a female voice on her, so you've heard her. Now the ball's in your court. Because when I woke up to this and I started realizing that everything that I'd gone through was preparing me for, this right here and more, I leaned into it. And yeah, sure, maybe I'm not very good at it right now. I don't have to be. I've even posted things where I've made huge mistakes. And it's just all to show that you don't have to be perfect. You don't. You don't have to be perfect to shine your light for other people. You can improve as you go. And people will just have to be okay with it. Well, what are they going to do about it, right? Say mean things behind a computer screen? Oh, no, mean things behind a computer screen. I know who I am. You know who you are. It's time to stop hiding your light. There's one person I watch, she says that we're lighthouses or whatever, right? But I don't think it's that stationary. It's not like you're just sitting there flashing a light for others to see, right? You have two legs. I don't know where I got it, but I'm always saying 10 toes down, right? Now, I have no idea where I got that stuff from. But 10 toes on the ground, right? You're serious about it. That's what I mean by it. I don't know where it came from. But if you've got 10 toes on the ground, you're not a lighthouse. You're not a torch either, right? Because your hair isn't made of flame and there's not this real light cascading off of you. That's all inside you. And how are people going to see what's inside of you unless you bring it forward in every single situation, in every day, even to the people you don't know, even to the people who you just see walking around in Walmart? You see somebody having a bad day, you can see the signs. They've got their shoulders slumped over, or, they're scowling. I do this all the time. I actually did that before I was coming here to read, or not read, before I was coming here to do this video. There was, trying to keep anonymity here, but there was this person at a Dollar General I went to, and this person looked like they were just going through a lot. And so I rolled down my window and I go, hey, yeah, waved him over, And I said, you look like you're going through something, but I want you to know, you look stunning today. Yeah. And guess what? That person opened up to me about their life and what was really going on. And I was able to kind of use myself as a channel for Source, use myself as a conduit. It's not about me, it's about Source. And I said the things that I felt called to say, and I feel like I helped change that person's life, right? So it's not about being a lighthouse. It's not even about being a torch. It's about being a walking, living example of what you want to see yourself in this world be. Now, Jim and I's got other plans, but this video seems to have dragged on quite some time. And so, because look at this, I never get this far when I'm doing video. So this is a long one. And I'm gonna sign off. So to my 4 beautiful children, if I never see you again because your mother did what she did, okay, we're not gonna throw mud. And you see this, I want you to know that I love you more than anything in this world. You are what inspired me to start doing this, so that way I had a place to pour the love that I can't give you. All of you, soul children, casual viewers, be kind to yourself. You're the only person that's going to be kind to you 100% of the time. Make sure that's true. All right, well, I guess till next time, I'll see you later.